Hey everyone, welcome back to Brown Coat Nerd. Today we're going to be going back to the CETME L, specifically their first gen handguard they have there. Now, Marklemar is offering these on their website for $200. I don't know how easily these are able to be found at other websites, if at all. Marklemar is the only place I've seen listing them for. And before anyone comments, and it's like, wait a minute, in your very first video, you brought these up and you talked about how they're ugly. Well, yeah, you guys know how I like ugly things. They kind of grow on me, and this is actually kind of a pretty cool and slick feeling handguard once it's on the CETME. So I purchased this to put on my fixed stock CETME L. A lot of the pictures that I found of like the Spanish military or police using these, it seems like there's a few more pictures that I've come across where these are on the LC, the collapsing stock version, but you will still come across pictures of these on the L as well, so I guess they used them kind of on both. Now, the listing on Marklemar has these listed as the first gen handguards, very rare. In their little description of it, they mention, we found what most said was impossible to locate, but found in Spanish warehouse. We were able to find a couple hundred of the very rare first gen handguards. Now, they do go on to talk about how they show some signs of storage wear, but they look like they've never been possibly issued, and I would have to agree with them on that. This was just had a thin film of like dirt and dust on there, and I cleaned it up, and it looks like it is in great shape. And you can see the heat shield. Whenever I first became aware of these, especially with these ears, I just kind of assumed the heat shield was going to be something metal, maybe solid without the vents in there, like what you see on the handguards that we're all used to seeing on the CETME Ls. So I was kind of surprised to find it would say very different setup. I did know that they were riveted into the handguards. So yeah, I was kind of surprised to find that mirror finish on there. Now, I did come across some articles talking about how they had the first gen handguards and they quit using them due to overheating issues. And as you can see, what they went with, you got a lot more exposed area to help cool it, I would assume. And then you kind of also have these little air pockets, I guess you could say, in there, and I would assume that also has to do with some of protecting your hand from the heat. Now, shooting my L and the LC, it never really got hot at all. I think at one point I could kind of feel the heat just a little bit after shooting several mags, and I just kind of put the sling up underneath, and it insulated that heat very well. And also, it is worth mentioning, this is the Marklemar furniture. When it got a little warm for me, I was actually using the older surplus furniture, which looks the exact same. It's just a different material here, and this is actually the surplus furniture. These were made with a polypropylene something or other polymer. That's just not the best. Marklemar uses this nylon 6. Now, it is worth noting, I was assuming this to be the same material as the surplus furniture set that I got for my L. And this is definitely a different material than that surplus furniture, which kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. It's almost a little bit closer to feel, at least, of this nylon 6 furniture that Marklemar uses. So it feels better than the surplus furniture. Except surplus furniture just kind of feels tacky almost. Like in feel, not in look. But as you can see, it's got the heat shield in there. It does wrap up on both sides. Now, going back to the overheating issues, I have talked to like 1 or 2 people that actually had these on there, and I was like, did that actually get hot? I heard that they quit using them because of overheating issues. And basically the feedback I got was, they mag dumped them and they really didn't notice any issues with it overheating. Also, you got to remember, they were using these on full auto CETMEs, whereas ours are semi-auto, of course, still mag dumping. You would imagine it'd get a little hot if there was any issues. So, but yes, so it sounds like there won't be really any issues with this being, oh, this is, horrible. It's way too hot compared to what came on the gun from Mark Lamar. I've not had a chance to take this out and try it with it on the gun. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. Now, I will warn you, if you get one of these, be careful. I think another reason they probably quit using these handguards, this is just a guess on my part, I did not come across anything saying this, is that they did not like the durability of this material. Like I said, it's definitely a different material than the standard surplus stock set stuff. Here's the old, this is a surplus butt stock with actually a newer Mark Lamar butt pad on there in case anyone's curious what that looks like. This seems much more durable of a material than what these were made of. And I kind of noticed that, and I was being very gentle with this. I finally got it on my L to see what it looked like, and it looked beautiful and magnificent. And then, of course, I was curious. I was like, well, I want to see what it looks like on my LC. So I tried put it on my LC. It looked pretty good. This, as you can see, it's kind of a darker color than the green. Although the original surplus furniture, like this, it never matched in greens. The Spanish military wasn't concerned about that at all. So these also vary greatly in color, even more than the traditional surplus stock sets that we see come on these. And the picture that Mark Lamar has, they show a box that's opened up, and this is about as dark as I think they will go. And the picture almost looks like a purple. And then they have some that are much more of the kind of green, or even maybe some that are a little bit lighter green than that. And they do say, we will try to match it as best as we can. Just know that we have no guarantee that your stock set's going to match. So when I purchased it, I did put in the notes something along the lines of, I'm using this with your green nylon 6 furniture. I'd like something that matches that as close as possible. And then I was like, if and also these have been available for a while, so I would imagine that's pretty much what everyone's asking for when they order these. So I did put in there, if you can't get, a good match to your furniture set, I would prefer to get something darker rather than lighter. And so I ended up getting something darker. Now, they could have seen that and just been like, oh, this guy's one, get one of the darker ones, get one of the darker ones out, because no one's asking for those. And for a second, I did think about asking for the darkest one they had, just to go, I thought about maybe possibly putting the black furniture back on my black CETME L. I've got the newer Mark Lamar green furniture on there right now. But then I was like, I spent money on that new Mark Lamar green furniture. That wasn't the cheapest. And I really do like the two-tone green and black. So I decided to go ahead and stick with that route. But like I said, this stuff is a little more brittle than this stuff, because after I put it on my CETME LC, was looking at it, how nice it looked, my heart sank. And I was being, as gentle as I could be with this. This is an extremely tight-fitting handguard. When I put it on my L, you guys know how I am about the pins. I actually had to put the pin in the other way, where the push-out side was actually facing the sling buckle, which I don't like doing that. But I just couldn't get it to go the other way. It is a super, super, super tight fit. But when I was admiring it on my L, I noticed this piece right here was actually sticking out. It hadn't completely broke off, but it was sticking out. Yeah, I felt sick to my freaking stomach, guys. And I mean, that's my fault. That didn't happen during shipping. It definitely wasn't like that when I got it. So that one is 100% on me. After I got done crying about it, I didn't know what the best product to do. I had some Gorilla Glue. So I just I didn't put a whole bunch on there. So I wanted, I didn't want the glue to end up being like eating away at this material here. So it seems like it's on there sturdy. We'll put it on the L. Luckily, that's a very low recoiling gun. Hopefully it'll last. It's really only a matter of time before that breaks off. And if it does break off the way where it's at, I mean, this handguard's going to stay up there. It's really not going to get my way at all. It's just going to look freaking hideous. And it's very sad and disappointing. So, I won't fully get it on the L because, like I said, it's super tight, but I'll at least kind of put it on there so you guys can see what it looks like on a black CETME L with green furniture. And hopefully I don't break it anymore than I already have. Alright. Where's the pin? Maybe we will get it all the way on there. Oh no, we won't. Okay, that's not even close to seating in there all the way. There we go. Sorry guys, bear with me. Okay, I'll mess with the pin later, but it is seated on there all the way now. So, this is what we end up with. And, you know, it is a darker color. It doesn't match up with the newer furniture here, obviously, 100%. But I think on the black gun, it doesn't look that bad. And honestly, when it's not under very bright lights, it looks a lot closer matching than what it really is. I will also say that the feel of this is really nice. I actually really like it. Obviously, one of the downfalls of the standard handguard is you know, some people like to really reach out there on their grip. This has kind of got you a little bit longer than like Hugo AK handguard length. So you get a little more real estate up here, which some people will definitely like. Mark Lamar kind of compares it to the early M16 handguards, and I totally get that feel. Another thing that it really reminds me of, it's in the safe right now, I meant to pull that out, is the HK93, the wide handguards. Oh, I got the ventilated one here somewhere, don't I? Yeah, it's just not on the gun. Reminds me a lot of these guns. So, if you're getting sick of people constantly asking you what kind of HK you have when you take out your CETME L, don't get this handguard. That's only going to encourage those comments even more. It does not have a little sling attachment down here like the, bipod attachment like the HKs do. You're still stuck just using the ring, little barrel clamp-on bipod. But like I said, this is a super tight fit. As you can see, like, I'm probably gonna have to take a mallet and just kind of lightly love tap that a little bit back. It's super, super, super tight. It did go on to the LC with the pin a little bit easier than it fit onto the L. This one's very snug. But I just wanted to get this out there, show you guys, let you kind of see what the inside of the heat shield looked like and everything. Because I kind of looked around and there's really no videos on this. And I've seen several people put these on their L's and LCs. And that's kind of what made me realize, I'm like, okay, those handguards don't look that bad. So, you know, that's what they look like. And of course, if you want to go for something a little bit more modern, Mark Lamar is now offering on their website an RS Regulate handguard that's an M-lock. So you got that option too, and I believe those are like $230 or $240, somewhere in there. Just one thing to notate about those is the handguard comes all the way back to here. Your trunnions kind of exposed, like on the early HKs, the slim handguards. So both of the standard handguards for this, they do cover that lower kind of rear trunnion section, so you're not going to bring your hand on that. It's not that far, you know, it's that much exposed. So just know that about the RS Regulate handguards, and those look pretty slick too. You know, I was kind of wanting to do some fun stuff to the L. Not a whole lot of options, and I was thinking about getting the RS Regulate handguard. But the thing is, like, I'm not big on vertical foregrips or angled grips, so I don't see myself getting one of those. I'm not going to be putting a light or a laser on it. So I was like, I'd just be purely getting it for looks and a different feel, you know. And once again, you kind of get a little more real estate up here with those. I don't know how hot they get, you know, it's just all aluminum. So I thought this would look a little bit cooler, a little more classic. And I've said it a million times before, this is like my G.I. Joe gun. And I definitely feel like putting this handguard on there just made it so much more Go Joe, you know? So there it is for you. That's all I've got for you. If you do want to get one of these, like I said, Marklemar said they got a couple hundred. I have no clue what they are down to as of now. But they do have them available, and I kind of feel like once they sell what they have, that's probably going to be it. Because I haven't seen these offered anywhere else. All right, guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe and stay shiny.